Hey, so this morning I'm thinking about money. And so money is not my most comfortable thing to deal with. Not because, I don't know what to do with money. I know I want a lot of it. I know I don't want to be broke. And I'm pretty good at negotiating for myself, protecting for myself, but negotiation has a limit when you don't understand the playing field. In other words, you don't know what the other players on the field are making. You don't know if you don't truly comprehend the cost of doing business. And I'm thinking about it from a science point of view. So this summer, I was very fortunate and I interviewed for a job. And it is what I would call my dream job. I didn't get it. Someone else got it who I think is awesome, if it's the person I think it is. But one of the questions in my interview that I felt like I didn't do a great job with, and they had to coach me along, was, what would I do if I had $1 million? And I thought, that's just such an insane amount of money for me. And thinking in my way of thinking is, well, I'll never get that much money again, so I got to make it last. And I was thinking about ways I would pinch on it, and like to make this work and to make that work. But I was having a conversation with some friends of mine, and $1 million is not uncommon for a startup. And I wasn't thinking about using that money from a startup point of view. And I realized that's one of the things no one really sits you down and talks to you about in graduate school or even as a postdoc is real talk conversations about startup. They tell you that you need to negotiate well for it, you need to consider it in your salary. And most of us have an idea of what we mean when we start the research, but we don't really think about how quickly that money can disappear. Is $1 million really a lot of money when you have to start everything from scratch? How much is the university providing up front as far as lab space and equipment and shared space, and do you want to share it or not? And how much money gets eaten up while you're waiting? And I know the waiting game from my experience as a postdoc with these rats. Like, just shipping rats and procuring rats always costs more than whatever we put down on paper. I like whatever number you put down, multiply it. And everyone tells you that, but when you feel like you're scrambling in the dark, and I realize that's the type of professional development. Those are the types of conversations we don't have nearly enough of in academia. And even for me, even though I'm not really gung-ho interested in academia anymore, any other career I'm interested in is still very academic-esque. In other words, it follows the same rules. You're still expected to, get grant money. You're still expected to spend it wisely. You're still expected to interact with, administrators who negotiate those things and space issues. And I would love to still be affiliated with a university to do my research, such as, let's say, I had a colony of animals and I work with a researcher. Well, I need to be able to know how much that's going to really cost. What are these real costs? So I'm applying for a travel fellowship to attend a meeting. And one of the questions they ask is, what type of professional development workshops would you like to have? And I realized after conversing with these friends, this is the conversation I need. Maybe no one else needs it, but I acknowledge that I need it. And I'm just thinking back to my graduate career and how little we talk about it, and everyone talks around it. No one really talks about it in different institutions, depending on whether they're state or public or large or small, how much research they do, and what facilities they have available. It just made me realize this is another place where the imposter syndrome really can kick your butt because you don't know how much to ask for. Not because you don't think you're worth it, you just don't know. And not asking for enough money can really kill your career before you get started. And I think that's coupled with the fact that institutions, I believe, are secretly have their fingers crossed that you don't ask for too much because budgets are an issue. So if you don't ask for a lot, then they save money, but then you don't really get to do what you came there to do. And I can see how that can have a really bad effect on a young scholar's career, especially as junior faculty, when you just didn't ask for a lot of money. And they let you not ask for a lot because they were trying to save money. And then you're not able to get the things you need to get done in a timely manner. And then you can't get tenure. And then it just feels so frustrating and wasteful to some degree. So that's what's on my mind today.